Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce that on January 5th, I'm going to be freely gifting each of you my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. In the book, which was initially shown to me in a dream and has been followed by a next level amount of synchronicity, by the way, I share the keys to manifesting abundance that I've personally discovered over 20 plus years of trial, error, and deep exploration of these perspectives, as well as one golden key that ultimately ties them all together. Also, I would like to invite you to participate in a unique abundance manifestation experiment with me and the other readers that is outlined in detail at the end of the book and at the book's website, goldenkey.gift, where readers will also share the inspiring results of their abundance manifestation experiments. So if you're wanting 2021 to be the year that you alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level, head over to goldenkey.gift to sign up to accept my golden gift right when it comes out on January 5th.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I've been really, there's not much I can really think about other than the state of our times and energetically what's going on right now. And because I've been so curious about what's going on energetically, of course, I look to the astrology. And what do you know? It's exactly what we've been talking about this entire year. And it's like building up to this cumulative point of a choice. It's pretty insane how many different astrologers I've listened to, and everybody has a different point of view, but ultimately everybody is conceptually saying a very similar thing. And that is, we are at a choice point. And like I've been saying, and we've been talking about for months and months on this podcast, is that this is a choice that we are all having to make internally on whether or not we choose love, to love ourselves, to love others, over fear. And it's interesting because the energies are available for both choices right now. And just like all the different astrologers have a different perspective as to what is going to happen or what is going on, we all have our own perspective that is guiding our life and guiding our choices. And that's what I want to talk about today, is our choices, what's guiding our choices, and the power that we have to make those choices. The saying that's been coming up in my brain today is check yourself before you wreck yourself. And that Ice Cube song has been rolling around in my mind, of course, along with it. And like over and over, check yourself before you wreck yourself, because I think too, the energetic alignments of the planets right now are calling for that. Really bringing up these emotions like you better get in check with yourself. If you don't take a really good look, examine, balance, learn your lessons, then you might just wreck yourself. So now is a time that we really need to be on point with our focus, our internal focus. What's important to us? What's important to our internal being? What is making us happy in our lives? We can't really stand for anything that's not right now. We're all kind of coming to this point of setting these boundaries in our lives and saying, this is what's okay for me and this is what's not. This is what I want my life to be, and this is what I don't. And that's what's beautiful about the energy of this time, is that we have the power to create it. We have the power to create that with our minds, and that is a choice. And that is a choice sometimes that is very difficult to make in difficult times, because we can allow fear to come in and make our choices for us. And now is not the time to do that. If we let fear make our choices right now, we will suffer for it. And that's not what we want to do. We want to be able to stand in our power, recognize the love beings that we are, the energy beings that we are made of infinite intelligence, that the power of our minds, the power of our imagination is what creates the world around us. And the more we harness that knowingness, the more we are going to step into this new world that we're moving into in the way that is most beneficial to us. If we recognize the love that is us, that is all around us all the time, and we don't let fear make our choices for us, then we will create the most beautiful existence for ourselves. And we have the choice to do that now. And I think that that is why this is the only thing I can talk about now, because this is super important. The energies that are existing right now haven't happened in these alignments, in these aspects, in hundreds of years, in thousands of years, depending on which ones you're talking about. And it's like they're all happening now. Like this, all these things are coming to this cumulative point. And this is what we've been talking about for years and years and years and years. I feel like I've been reading about it for at least a decade, and that's like new in the game, right? And it's all coming down to this point. It's a choice point. And this is what the whole purpose of our life here in this third dimensional reality is. It's learning our lessons in order to be able to make this choice of love or fear, the choice of being in service to others or being in service to yourself. And what's kind of tricky is there's the self-love component. And that's a hard one for a lot of people, because when you're feeling like you need to love yourself and put yourself first, you're not being in service to others, you're being in service to yourself. But when you understand and remember that you are one with it all, that there is no outside, and that taking care of you and loving you is loving the whole, then it changes the game. And it's different if we're talking about being selfish and being controlling and manipulative. Now, those are ways that we are in service to self that are of a negative nature. But if we are loving ourselves and essentially putting our oxygen mask on first, we can't help another unless we help ourselves, right? It's a different way of looking at it. This is really important to remember at this time, because we could be super, super loving to everyone else, but not to ourselves. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, then we're going to miss the boat on this. It's about all of us. You too. The oneness. There's so many of us. I know there's so many of you listening that are such humanitarians, activists. You just want to save the world and help the world, but you're not doing it for yourself. And I want you to take that time and that energy, and I want you to take it inward and to really love yourself and to take care of yourself and love yourself just like that person who loves you the most would. Just like you take care of all of those people, just as much as you love all of those people. Take all of that energy and bring it inside. that is what we're being called to do right now. For ourselves and for the whole. Because by doing it for ourselves, we are doing it for the whole.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a quick moment to share a perfect gift idea for the upcoming holiday season, Features Socks. If you pay attention when you watch any of the episodes of my variety show Optimistic, you'll notice that I typically take my shoes off at some point during the interview portion, and it quickly becomes very obvious I'm a huge fan of fun, funky, colorful socks. So when Features originally reached out to me, I was super excited because I instantly loved the way they looked. But after actually wearing them, I realized there is a very good reason runners and golfers are increasingly making Features their sock of choice above and beyond their excellent style. Features have been engineered with targeted compression and an excellent design that keep them from bunching, slipping, and sliding into your shoe. I love the unique cut of the Elite golf socks and the anatomical design of all their styles because they actually conform to the left and right shape of your feet, creating an enhanced, custom-like fit that reduces discomfort and prevents blisters. They're also so durable and long-lasting that if you're unsatisfied at any point, they'll give you a replacement pair, no questions asked, for lifetime guarantee. And I can guarantee if you guys take advantage of the $10 off offer on your first pair at features.com when you use the code POSITIVEHEAD, that they will help make someone's holiday season merry and bright, to be sure. Once again, that is Features, spelled FEETURES.com, promo code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, to receive $10 off your first pair.
And speaking of what's in one is within the whole, Carolyn Mace is one of my favorite teachers. And I came across a couple of her clips today, and I'm not going to play any of them, but I am going to talk about them because I found them so synchronistic. So when I was thinking about check yourself before you wreck yourself today, I thought about one of my favorite things to talk about, which is personal responsibility, and really taking it upon ourselves to make our lives what we want it to be. It's nobody else's responsibility but ours to create the life that we want. There's nothing external out there that's going to do it for us, nothing external out there, no place, no person, no thing that's going to make us happy and do it for us. This is something that we need to do for ourselves. And so when I Googled that or YouTube searched that Carolyn Mace personal responsibility, this is what came up. And it was absolutely perfect. So the first video that I watched that came up was self-esteem and the power of your choice. And this video was 3 years ago. And it's just a small little clip. It looks like a larger talk that she did. But what she talked about 3 years ago is that the atmosphere is pregnant with something that is going to burst. And here we are, 3 years later, bursting. She was talking about the different, acts of madness and violence that were starting to increase, and that we were starting to say things like, we've never seen a time like this in our history. And she made the point that we are literally living through this is a quote, through the most significant passage in the history of civilization. And that we've said this before in history, that we've never seen this before, but this time it's different. And she was saying this 3 years ago. And now it really makes a whole lot of sense. And what's happening astrologically, this is so neat. So on December 21st, there is a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn happening right on the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. Right on the cusp. It's really interesting. It's a choice point. And it's also an entry into a new era, new energies becoming present. And Carolyn Mace was talking about this too. And she actually said, when she was talking about the agricultural age turning into the industrial age, that there was a crossover. And we see this in astrology. We see this through the cycles of time. And the more I listen to it and read about it and look into it, the more fascinated I am with it. But she said the words, a crossover of one age becoming eclipsed and being rendered obsolete by the beginning of another era. And that's literally what's happening astrologically right now. I find it just mind-blowing, really, that we can see the energies of what's going on in our world and look to the stars and the planets and see that, yeah, it's all written there too. She was also talking about, we're about to enter the galactic community. That before we've just been so earthbound. And what's interesting is that in Capricorn, Jupiter and Saturn, when they do their bouncing back and forth every, I think it's 200 years, they've been in Capricorn. And now they're moving into Aquarius. And Aquarius is more, galactic. And so we are entering into a galactic community where we're really starting to understand and know that we are not alone in the universe, that humans on Earth aren't the only beings that exist here. This idea is becoming more and more and more commonplace. She was making the point that in schools, we weren't taught correctly, that our science books haven't changed. And what we've been taught is that matter is what is reality. But what we know and what science has figured out is that energy comes before matter, that the quantum world precedes and influences the transformation of the physical world. And we all are getting this more and more and more. We know that energy is everything. All matter is just densified energy. And so this truth is penetrating and taking over. And it is such a beautiful thing to see. We're understanding more and more that what we can actually see and touch is not what's really real. That what's really real is the things that we can't perceive. The 99% of space that is the energy that exists all around us. Our dream time is really our reality. When we go to sleep at night and we go to that eternal, that is what is real. That is what is everlasting. This life, this beautiful moment in a snippet of time, it is just a tiny, tiny moment in this millennia of a continuum that you are as a soul, this infinitum. Millennia is a terrible word. This infinitum that you are as a soul. Carolyn Mace was making the analogy that the world that we see is like the caboose of a train, and the world that we cannot see is like the engine. And she pointed out that in our life, the journey of it is really about getting from the caboose to the engine, figuring out how to drive your engine. Because until you figure out how to drive your engine is driving you. And until you figure out the way to drive your engine to get to the place where the engine is what's real and not the caboose, takes a lot of work, a lot of personal responsibility. And it takes you making the conscious free will choice to do that, to look outside of the programs, of what you're being told, of what you're being taught, and to think more and more for yourself, to open your mind, to explore different possibilities, to listen to various opinions, and to learn to be able to recognize what resonates within me. What do I recognize as true? And then to be totally okay with having a different perception than other people do. That's where the self-esteem bit comes in. She was talking about how important it is to have the kind of self-esteem that it takes to perceive differently than other people, and know that you have what it takes to be able to do that. You're a free thinker of your own free will, the power of your mind. You don't have to believe what you were taught or told or what you shoulda, coulda, woulda. Now is really the time that we stand firm, we stand strong in our beliefs, in our personal sovereignty, in our own freedom that we have in knowing that this is my choice. I get to decide. That is such an amazing freedom to have, knowing that it is all your choice. So the other video that I came across was called "We Always Have to Work to Empower Ourselves." And she started with a quote from Victor Hugo saying, "Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come." Because she went on to say that this is the era of choice. And by the way, this video is probably like 5 months ago. And I love that she's saying that this is the era of choice. Again, this is the energy that is here. We are here to make a choice. And the thing about this choice is that it doesn't come easy. She was making the point that, when we live in a very content, calm atmosphere all the time, we get kind of complacent. We don't always realize that we have power, because something needs to happen in order for us to realize how much power we do have. Like, we don't get it until our back is against the wall. And she talked about the idea that complacency is really not your friend. Because in order to be able to make a choice, to change your mind, to do something different, something needs to happen. And so here we are in the world with lots of stuff happening. She made this analogy of a ship captain. You don't become an amazing ship captain always sailing through calm waters, never having a rocky sea, never having to work through a problem to use your intuition to make that quick call. You become an amazing captain by dealing with the rockiness, by having to make those quick decisions, those life-changing decisions in those moments. And that's how you become an amazing ship captain. And we are all the captains of our own ship. And so these rough waters are teaching us, A, how powerful we are, B, how to hone our intuition, how to really trust ourselves and be able to make those choices based on what I know inside. Because the more you do that, the stronger it gets. And when your back is against the wall and you have to make that quick choice, you listen to that voice that's screaming at you, go this way. And when you listen, you're like, yep, okay, that's the voice. That's the voice I listen to. Without your back being against the wall like that, you wouldn't have had that opportunity to learn to listen to that voice. And so, again, as we're always talking about on this show, being grateful for these rough waters, because they are really, really teaching us beautiful lessons and enabling us to be able to make this choice, which allows us to move into this beautiful new world of high vibrational energy that we are moving into. And it is our choice whether we want to see it or not. Both choices are available. Carolyn Myss made the point to say that there's always going to be an opposing darkness. Of course there is. And that darkness is always going to count on you believing that things will never change. It's going to count on you getting too comfortable. It's going to count on you making choices out of fear. And there's always going to be either an inner or an outer saboteur that's going to oppose you. And we can do this to ourselves, internally battling ourselves. And this is where we need to check ourselves. We have the power. We can make a choice and we can turn it all around. And remember too, anytime there's an increase in light, there will also be the darkness that will try to balance that out. Because, as Carolyn May says, archetypally, that's how it works, and that's how it has always worked. The yin and the yang, there always needs to be imbalance. And so, as we go through these times, as the polarities are very intense, we can choose which one we wish to see. They are both very present, both very strong, and it's our choice which one we decide to focus on. So the very last thing that she said, and I just absolutely love so much, she was making the point to stick to the light and know that the wheels of change are working so fast, and we are living in this beautiful time that it is a privilege to be alive right now, and that every single choice that we make matters. Every single choice. To remember to ask for help, to pray. And when you pray or you meditate, this is the quote that I want to leave you with today from Carolyn Mace. Turn yourself into a fountain of grace and let it pour through you. Just picture yourself dwelling within a field of God. All of this is the divine field. When you turn yourself into that channel of grace, you are channeling it into this field of the divine, and just channel away and become that being of light. What a wonderful thing to do. What a wonderful contribution. I love that quote. I love Carolyn Mace. If you guys haven't listened to her much, check her out. She is just amazing. And what a beautiful point to leave us with. This is our responsibility to be a beacon of light. That is the contribution that we can give to ourselves and to the world. This is a choice that we have the power to make. We remember to always check in with ourselves, check in with our energy systems, check our thoughts, our mind. Where are my thoughts? Am I focused on love? Always check yourself. And with that, everybody, I am out of here for today. I'm going to play a song I've probably played before, but it's a good one for today's episode. This is Satsang, We Are Strong. Until next time, love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, I wanted to remind you about the game with the universe on our website, where you can choose the first number that comes to your mind, and it'll pull up that episode number of the podcast. I've been saying this is a great way to co-create synchronicity and magic with your higher self for quite some time. And if you go to positivehead.com/universe, there is a super fun and simple interface to play this game with your higher self. I firmly believe just by setting the intention to play in this way, it opens up the door for magic, and it's a synchronistic way to hone in on nuggets of wisdom out of the huge catalog of episodes that are specifically appropriate for you at this time in your journey to becoming the next greatest and greatest version of yourself. And it also makes for a super fun way to spark the curiosity of friends and family by having them choose a number, so they'll hopefully go and check out their number as well, which I greatly appreciate because it helps us to spread the word about the podcast. Once again, the address is positivehead.com/universe. And as a quick reminder, if you're curious to learn more about Purium superfoods and why I take them almost every day, be sure to also check out positivehead.com/transformation. On this journey of becoming the next greatest and grandest version of ourselves that we have all embarked upon, I cannot stress the importance of managing your physical vibration enough. And quite honestly, Purium has put together the simplest plan I've found to do so. I have my favorite, the appleberry shake, at least 5 times a week. Once again, to learn more about the Purium transformation, go to positivehead.com/transformation. Or if you want to keep it simple and just try out my favorite, the Appleberry Shake, you can go straight over to ishoppurium.com and be sure to use code positivehead for 25% off. I'll spell that for you. It's ishoppurium.com, and be sure to use your positivehead 25% coupon code.
This is the life we know. Don't give in, don't let go. We know it's possible. We are unstoppable. We are the salt of earth. We are the new rebirth. We will seek righteous first. Shoot across the universe. Though we've been down before, we will not stay no more. We're taking power back, standing up where power left. Though the road is long, drag along. We are strong. One chance given, God willing, I'll take it. Bet on myself, know I can stake it. No need to fear, I'm free. Author of my story's me. Learn to trust my intuition. Got some headway on my mission. Light up the world with the gift I'm given. Past mistakes all been forgiven. We are the fight and it starts right now. Loud as you can, come sing out. Said we are victims no more. We know what we're here for. Though the road is long, we are strong. No need to drag along. 'Cause we are strong. Though the road is long, we are strong. No need to drag along. We are strong. Gone are the days of worthless. Said we are living on purpose. And our destiny is we'll serve this. Said we are living on purpose. Gone are the days of worthless. Said we are living on purpose. My destiny is our service. Said we are living on purpose. Though the road is long, we are strong. No need to drag along. 'Cause we are strong. Though the road is long, we are strong. No need to drag along. 'Cause we are strong. And though the road is long, we are strong. No need to drag along.